My dear viewers, a Star Trek movie from 2009 made me have a borderline nightmare. In the 2009 movie, the timeline I grew up with in the 1966 to 69 series and 1987 to 1994 series was disrupted. In the film, when James T. Kirk was in his early 20s, Romulans from the future destroyed the planet Vulcan. Mr. Spock's mother was killed. At the end of the movie, an elderly Mr. Spock met a very young Mr. Spock. I had a borderline nightmare where my own timeline was altered. In reality, in 2023, I live in Dearborn, Michigan. My mother died in 2011. We moved away from 24 Marsh Street, Milford, Connecticut in 1982 when I was age 9. We rented the house. We never owned the property. In the dream, I owned 24 Marsh Street, even though I lived far away. The house I knew from 1972 to 1982 was still there. My mother was still alive and living in Grand Isle, Maine. She called me to complain about how the townspeople were treating her. She was thinking about moving away to England. How is this a borderline nightmare? When I woke up, I recognized I was in Dearborn, Michigan. It was 2023. My mother died in 2011. I do not own 24 Marsh Street, Milford, Connecticut. The house I knew from 1972 to 1982 was torn down years ago. I also remembered it was a work night, and I have to somehow go back to sleep for another 4 hours. It reminded me of how I imitated my father's voice shortly after he died in 2004. Patty the dog's ears perked up, and she got happy and excited. I realized it was a cruel thing to do to the dog. I did not do it again in her presence. The lesson is that former history majors do not like changes in a timeline, even in fiction. In the Star Trek I knew, Spock's mother was alive to argue with her son Spock and her husband Sarek in the 1966 to 1969 series. Planet Vulcan was alive and well in the 1966 to 69 series and 1987 to 1994 series. You do not screw with Star Trek history. Thank you. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.